Alrighty. Howdy, howdy, all. Well, Nebraska's always pretty fun, especially when we get snow rolling in like we're going to get today. Supposedly 10 inches. So, we're out here starting all the Pontiacs, because I have more than I probably should, but they're a lot of fun. So this one's my daily driver. Ooh, daily driver car. Very spooky. Fires off like a kitten. So, this one's a little 3.1. Pretty, bare basics. Grand Prix SE, 1999. She's got the different front bumper. I like this bumper quite a bit. So this one is my daily driver. Like I said, driving this for like 4 or 5 years now. And we're going to come over here to the Cheetah. Oh, this poor car. But she fires off too. This one's got some rust problems, but the engine and transmission are still good, as well as everything else. This one's a 3.8. This one's also an SE. Oh, there's the music. So, this one's alright. Oh, let this one purr for a while. We'll go start up the other one. Like a kitten. So this one I actually did a bunch of body work when I was in quarantine for a tracer of the fun Rona virus, or the Rona beer, as you would like to call it. So I had to replace this fender, the front bumper, the back bumper. This window was busted out right here, so that was fun. And if you know anything about cars, you don't want them to sit out in the weather, exposed, at least the cabin. But it survived a couple Nebraskan winters, so that's good. You can see our passenger. It's a huge teddy bear. But I went ahead, and this one's just going to be a beat-em-up car. I hate to say that, but I put whatever you call these on. I think they're called window vents. And then that hood deflector. So we'll walk around here in the snow. And I hope you guys can see all this. I don't know. It's pretty bright out. So, I'll dust off here. I still got to replace the hood and the trunk on this. But the back bumper looks good now. So I just bought a whole nother car that was the same color and just pulled parts off of it. It was like $300 for the whole other car. And it had all of the parts I needed, plus a little more. And I figure, why not? I've got a lot of these cars. I can use the parts. So we'll follow our trail out here all the way to the fun cars. Now the blue one doesn't have a battery, but eventually it will. And then I gotta have brake work done. I might do it. I might send it to a shop. We'll see. Otherwise, that one purrs like a kitten. This one is a 96 Grand Prix SE. This one was in the family. So they're like, hey, we're gonna sell this. Do you want it? It's got radiator trouble, but we have a radiator. I was like, what do you want for it? They're like, $500. I said, I'll take it. So a little bit discombobulated there, like they all do on any of them. Oh. So, this one's kind of nice. It's got second gear start. I've never seen that. And again, I don't drive these cars. Well, this car. So this one, see, she's got some hours on there. That's 214,000. So, I'll grab the key here. Pardon my sniffling. It's bloody cold out here. Alrighty, come on. This one's, there's some Z98 right there. This one's also a little 3.1. So, but she purrs away. A little bit of a knock in the cold, but it goes away once it heats up. So, I got a very nice compliment on this car. Oh! So when I went to get parts for it at Napa, the guy there who demos cars, he's like, hey, do you own this little red car? I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, well, hey, that would make a nice little derby car. And I was like, well, thank you. Oh, I think I left a blinker on. And, you know, that was awesome. There we go. Now this one's pretty quiet. My white one's not because the muffler rusted out and I just cut that off. And here's the truck for my brother that also needs brake work. We have a lot of fun repairing our own cars out here, so we'll go down through our yard of cars and I'll just show you some of the other ones I picked up. So these cars are about dime a dozen out here if you just want, you know, the car itself with, you know, mystery shape. But, you know, they're cheap, the parts are cheap, and they're pretty goddamn good cars, pardon my French. So I'll show you the one I love. This one, it's a GTP, but it's white, and I like the white. It's got the leather interior, and it's got all the fancy factory features and more some. So you got the, you know, sunroof and all that good jazz. But this one I bought from our local junkyard here, and they told me, hey, there's no motor because they blew it up. But I bought the car for $350 with everything you see here. I had the front rims. They're actually on a different car because I moved it. But no engine. The transmission's in the trunk. They didn't tell me that, so I was happy. So now I just got to find an engine, and this thing's going to be hopefully bucking 500 horsepower, and it's going to just be an awesome all-around car. I won't lie to you. I don't know much about engine rebuilds or transmission rebuilds, but this car is a good project to do all that on and learn. So, and then once this is going, it'll look more like my SE, because I like the SE bumper a lot more. And you know, it's what it is. I just really like it. It's what I grew up with, and goddamn, you know, you're like, oh, that's just an SE. Yeah, well, not this Pontiac. This Pontiac's going to be a powerhouse. This one's the big Pontiac, because my white car's already called Pontiac, so I like giving stuff names. And then recently, so we're up to 5 Grand Prix right now, right? I think so. I think I can count to 5. And then this one here, it's a 2-door, blue, dark blue. And they didn't know what was wrong with this one. They just know it was towed in. But it's got it looked like it was in a fender bender. And it's 3800 as well, or 3.8, not supercharged. This one's just a GT. But as you can see, not only is there a little bit of a gap here, so you know, fender's bent, but the bumper's bent. And that's not too much, that's not hard to replace. And these, you know, panel work, and the rocker panels on all of these need work because, well, we're in the Midwest and we use a heck of a lot of salt on our roads, and out here we don't have a garage, so the cars just are exposed. And you know, I'll keep saying it, these are tough little cars. But I'll give you a better shot here. I've never really been a fan of the 2-doors. Mainly because if you're hauling your drunk buddies, you can see the front damage there too, you have to get out, or the buddy in the passenger seat has to get out. They got to flip the seat forward, and they got to try and get out. And on the 4-doors, you just open the door and fall out. So, I mean, they're both good cars. It's still a Grand Prix. But I don't know why I have 2 coupes. Yes, I have bought another one. So, that one, I don't know. I have a project for this coupe and the other coupe, whichever one I can get running first and the body's in better shape. This one looked okay, and I was like, sweet, maybe this one will be good. It has the black interior like I like, and you know, the paint's not terrible. I wish this car was a black car, just because what I want to do with it. But you know, it's not the end of the world. You can always get cars painted, or you can paint it yourself. You can do it yourself if you know what you're doing, or if you don't, I won't stop you. Alright, I don't have a name for that blue car just yet, but this one's the other green one. This is the one I took parts off of. So the hood, the front bumper, the plastic on the fender wheels, I think they call them splash guards. And then, well, I took the fender off this side. And, you know, that, and I took the window out of this door, and I know it's sad to see the windows are down, but to be honest with you guys, this car sat for many years out at that yard like this. And, you know, surprisingly, the interior holds up pretty well. Eventually, once I get this on blocks, I'll, you know, coat it with or cover it, sorry, I can't speak today. I'll cover it with a tarp, you know, just a big tarp. I'll go from, say, the bottom here, up and over. But this car, oh, and the back bumper, I took that sucker off too. And all the plastic there as well. and used it on that first green car I showed you. But this car is going to be a parts car. You can see the doors are dented. I wanted to just pull this whole door off it, but I didn't realize there was a huge dent there. So this is just parts for all my other ones that I'm trying to keep moving. And these are those front tires off that white car over there. I just had them slap some tires on that would hold air and drug this sucker out here. But I'm also going to use the engine compartment for my white car. At least what do they call it? I call it the cradle for the engine. You know, it mounts, it's what holds the engine and transmission up. So it's falling down now. I don't know if you can see that, but it's down. So, and I know the engines are both 3/8, and there's a difference between this one, which is not supercharged, and that one, which is. So I can't really use this engine in there, but I will use like the harness and I'll use it as a point of reference for like the electrical and the hosing and the AC and all that good jazz. Because despite what people say, these are not complicated cars to work on. Yeah, they have their grimes, metric system, but they're doing good. They're good cars. They freaking last like a sucker. So, and this one's called Yard Dog because it's gonna stay in the yard. I like that name. This one's recent. It's a GTP. It's obviously silver, 4-door. This one has the supercharger, as far as I know. The hood is either frozen down or the latch mechanism is broken on this car. So I couldn't pop the hood, but the door's open. They finally got these open. Like I said, this was an impound. The doors were locked. This was hidden back between some storage on the yard. And I spotted it, and I saw the GTP emblem. Otherwise, I wasn't interested in this car. And I was like, what do you want for it? That's the story how I get a lot of stuff, and how I get myself in trouble. But they're like, oh, we don't have keys for it, $500. And I was like, I'll take it. And so this one has not the leather interior, and it's kind of messy. I haven't cleaned it out from the previous owner, so I'm going to do that. And, we got a little bit of body rot. That's okay. That's nothing you can't hide with a panel. But it doesn't have the leather interior, but it's got the cloth interior, kind of like my car, my daily driver, and I like that. So I don't know if I drive this car if I can get it to run, which I will. This car will be running, but I'll certainly keep it in reserve once I figure out what's wrong with it. And it needs some body work, the rocker panels, and like you saw, and the back bumper looks like it took quite a beating. But I mean, it's not broken. It just looks off, it don't bother me none. But people would be like, "Oh my God!" As you can see, we got some. I don't know if you can see that. We got some paint scratch, and even if I get this car moving, I don't know that I'd fix this. I mean, it's small potatoes out here, and this car will never be a show car or anything like that. And, my God, that thing sits pretty damn low. Huh. Maybe some suspension problem. But like the door, obviously I can replace the door and even get this one painted. But I'm not gonna go through the trouble to have them iron this out. It's just like on the green car. It's got something like that, and it's not worth it, man. What's that gonna do? That's not gonna affect car performance. Someone might give you shit for it, but just tell them, it freaking runs and drives. So this one actually managed to have both badges on both doors and the door trim. So that's cool. And it needs a tire, but I have those. And the front. There's the nice, beautiful Pontiac emblem. I love those so much. So let's see. We are up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Grand Prix. And, we got more. So, Mr. Unknown Soldier, me, going crazy over here in Nebraska, buying Grand Prix like a maniac. And I'll tell you why after I get done showing you these cars. It's some straightforward logic, I think. So this one's also a silver car, 4-door, and this one's just a GT, but they told me it ran and drove when they parked it, and that was good enough for me. They wanted $550 for this one, and the window's down, but I'll put a tarp over that here pretty quick, so that, it's snow, and I'll clean all this out, and, go from there. It's no big deal. This one has the leather interior, so it's a little bit tougher. And you may be able to see me in the windshield. Hello there. So this one has the key. I just got to get a battery, and all the tires managed to air up on this car, so I'm stoked. You know, I'll probably have to add gas or drain the crap that's in there. So, but this one's promising, and it has the keys. That silver one didn't have keys. That's the other reason they sold it to me cheap. So I'm having keys cut from GM, and you know, they all need work. But this car, that silver car, and then this one over here, we're all well, not this one, but that blue coupe. We're all in their unprocessed lot. So, you know, that's a lot where they get cars in and they didn't have time to, you know, scrap them or part them out and put them in the yard. So they just left them parked there. So I was eager, because they're known, like that green car, to pull parts off of, which is obviously fine. They're a yard. But not if you're like me and you're looking to have some good times with some otherwise derelict cars. So, all in all, for like the two silvers and the blue coupe, $1,550. Plus $40 each shipping to have them dropped off. The yard's only like a couple miles away, so it's no big deal. And I have a blast. So this car will be up and going. I might sell it if I can get it moving. I might not. I'll tell you why once I'm done. And then this one's a black coupe. This one's the one that really caught my eye, mainly because the hood was open and it had the supercharger already on it. You know, they didn't take it off, and this car was closed, the windows were up. You know, they got the fuel tank and parts of the body and engine in the cab, but hey, those are parts that are there, man. You don't knock it. Don't knock it if the parts are there.